Well, hello. We're visiting today with Brennan Willard from Lebanon, Missouri. He's a Super Dirt Series driver in the Comp Cam Series from Lebanon Mo, and it's our first time to visit with Brennan on today's show. Man, look forward to this season, and it's already underway, isn't it?
It's already going, and I think we're on week 2, through week 2 of our 3-week back-to-back stretch here. But yeah, it's going, and it's good to be back with you. It's been we had this YouTube, Facebook deal going on before everybody else. We just didn't know what the heck we were doing, right?
We did.
We had it going on with the old Ozarks Racing Roundup, but glad to do this every week with you and recap what we got going on, talk about what's going on in the world of racing, and just kind of give people an insight of what happened the week before with us and what's going on with our team and what we're trying to do on our race team, little race team here.
Well, today is the 12th of March, but racing season begins almost in the middle of winter, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really never stops, and that it's a good and a bad. You know, we started in January in Vado, New Mexico. We left January 2nd, I think, to go out there, and we're out there for a couple weeks. Raced first weekend was great weather. We had engine problems the first night, and had a really good car the second night. Timed in good, racing good, and I completely messed up and wrecked. 100% my fault. Happens. Just got myself in a situation, pushing too hard, and wrecked.
How much of the field did you take with you?
Not a couple. It was not good, but it is what it is. It just I had to run the bottom, and I missed my line the lap before, and I wasn't going to miss the line that lap, and I did. And I don't know, something might have broke, but probably not. It's just me. And we regrouped, and I had it off. So that was a Sunday night race, and we were off that Monday. So then Tuesday, we had a open practice, and through a sandstorm. And that was the most miserable practice session of my life. I think sand blew in. It was not fun. Wednesday's race was snowed out, literally. And they scraped snow off the ground Thursday or Friday. It's all running together now. And miserable cold. But we finished up the Wild West Shootout. We learned a lot. Struggled there the last weekend, but I learned a lot. Give a shout out to Justin Day at Icon Graphics. He designed the Wild West Shootout themed car that we got here, and it won Best Appearing Car, so that was cool. That's about the only thing good that went for us all week out there, but we learned a lot, got home, and got everything ready for Springfield, which was then the next race, which I love Hoffman. This guy races in November, you know, the Turkey Bowl, and you and I have been around racing our whole life, and you quit racing at Labor Day around here as it used to be, you know, but now it's year-round. So we race the Turkey Bowl, and then you come back with the tribute to MLRA, and Friday night we were really good. Timed in pretty good. Ran third in the heat, was 7th in the feature, and I tried to go to the top, and I figured there's no difference between 2nd and 15th, and we went back to 16th and got back to 14th, but should have stayed where I was at, but it's all right. Saturday night we had mechanical issues, and just kind of ended our night before it really started, but that was the end of our preseason stuff before we got ready for comp, which kicked off for the Comp Cam Super Dirt Series season, which kicked off last weekend, but been a lot of changes for us, you know, with MLRA going away.
Right. You are well known for your expertise in asphalt racing. Are you still considering yourself a rookie as far as running dirt?
I guess I'm a rookie of the year for comp this year. I don't know how that's legal, but my dad told me one time that it takes 9 years. He raced dirt for 9 years, and he felt like he figured it out his 8th or 9th year. And pavement, he figured out really quick. There is so much difference. I don't know if one's harder than the other, but dirt racing is, in my opinion, the new ASA. You know, when I was a young kid, ASA was a series you want to be in, ASA or Artgo. And I feel like, you know, your MLRA is the old Artgo series, and your Lucas Oil and World of Outlaws is now the ASA series, which they have brought ASA back on pavement, but it's just different. Now kids grow up to be professional dirt racers, not professional cup drivers. And it's very well known that the top half of the Lucas Oil and World of Outlaw field make more money than the than honestly more than half the Cup Series field in NASCAR right now because of what they're getting paid to drive race cars, because of souvenir sales, because of what they are doing. I think it will change. Hope it changes. I think NASCAR needs to succeed for everybody, right? But that's what's hurt pavement racing, in my opinion. But it's cool. Like Aaron Douglas is taking I-44 and really growing it. But like you and I have talked, there's no way I can go race at I-44 Speedway and worry about car count and if timing and scoring. Like I literally went up in 2019 one night and had to fix the timing loop before we qualified. Like everybody else is at the grid and I'm fixing the timing loop. Like you can't do that and think you're going to be competitive and your head can't be in something else. You have to be 100% focused. So it's been a huge learning curve, but I'm happy where I'm at and love to go run some asphalt and plan on it again someday. And definitely want to again soon, but I'm keeping that open always and want to go back and run a couple of races here and there, but I want it to be the right time and the right opportunity. I don't want to do it if it's not right. So
our show brought to you by Schaefer's Oil, and you have them and some other great sponsors that help you get on the road and compete.
Yeah, Schaefer's has been a new sponsor for this year and stepped up after the Wild West Shootout even, and really happy to have them on board. They've got a great product and using it quite a bit, and not only using it on our race cars, but using it on the farm, using it at Willard Asphalt, so that's good. Midwest Sheet Metal's been a big supporter of mine. Chris Davis has helped me for years. Bill Steen stepped up, been huge to help me. VG Performance, Longhorn Chassis. Mike Wallace got me and Vic Hill together. Vic's been a huge help of mine on the late model side of things. And Empire Energy, VP Fuels, Swift Springs. Big shout out Tony Jackson Racing. Tony makes things go for us, gets our cars together. And sure, it's going to be a little weird. We'll talk about that more, I'm sure, with us not running the same series. But they're a big help. Lebanon Ready Mix, Willard Quarries, Performance Plus, Global Logistics, Kyle and everybody helped ship our motors and ship one last week. 5-Star Bodies, just a lot. Elite Excavating, Joker Welding, Simpson Race Products, huge sponsor, keep us safe. They got a new helmet out. Probably bring it in and do a demo on it. It's really, they've stepped their game up, and proud to say I've always been a Simpson driver, so I'm pretty excited to say that. But so many people help us get up and down the road, and all of us. It doesn't matter if you're Jonathan Davenport or me or anybody else. It takes a village, literally, to make this go. But and then we talked about Icon Graphics earlier. Justin's been a big supporter and help, and I want to give a shout out to Chris Medley at Modern Images. Chris did my wraps forever and still helps us on some rugs and stuff. And Justin and I become friends, and it's local. And Justin come on board and helped out this year a lot. And then Results Advertising gets our T-shirts done and gets our memorabilia and gets everything done for us. So it is a small army to get up and down the road every week. My family helps me tremendously, and my kids, I think my kids might love racing more than me sometimes, especially my daughter. She's ate up with it, and last weekend was telling me what cars were where. So she's got a big announcement she's wanting to make on YouTube. So we're going to have her come in here one day when school's out. She's got a special project that I promised her we'd do. So I told her she's got to talk to her mom, but now it's public. But anyway, we got to talk to her mom, and Ellison wants a back to school car.
Last time I saw Ellison, I think you were packing her around. They grow up fast.
Yeah, you grow up. She's 7 now. She'll be 7 Saturday. So at the races. So celebrating like she wants. Braden's 11, and baseball, football, basketball. He wants to race, but I'm like, he's got a really good racing career going, or baseball career going right now. So racing's on the back burner, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Talked about those sponsors. It's not only the dollars, but it's also the products that you receive that really helps the cause.
It does, and Longhorn Chassis is huge for us. The first dirt late mod I drove was a Longhorn, and we went away to some other things, but the guys at Longhorn have really stepped up. They've got a good car, and their product and their input and their help. Chassis manufacturing's big, and then Vinny Giuliani at VG Performance, Vinny takes the shocks that Bill Steen hooks us up with and makes sure they're right. And your product deals and your people helping you. If you don't have Vinny and Tony helping us, and Algar Performance has just come on board as our dealer on our Longhorn cars, and they're helping us on the parts side. Pretty cool relationship for me. Bill Willard and Mike Algar had a really good relationship for years on the tire side. So that was Hoosier Tire Midwest. And so everybody called my grandpa the Bull, and everybody called Mike Gator. And so the Bull and Gator are pretty tight. And they've always taken care of me. Hoosier Midwest has an Algar Performance. And so it's cool to be full circle with them. That was a big partnership that's been announced the last couple of weeks, and I'm really excited about it just because I know the family history there, and it's pretty cool. So that makes me, it gets me excited. I-44 Speedway is always going to be the foundation of where this started for me, and that goes back to those days, so I like it.
Talked about tires. How crucial is tire setup and tire preparation, tire choice when it comes to dirt compared to asphalt?
Big, because you have options. So we're on the full comp cam series this year, so you have a right rear. You have to run a right rear 3. And then your left rear and right front, you can run a 2 or a 3, which is a 2 is the softest you can get, and a 3's pretty hard. And then your left front's kind of open, but tire compound and the feature determines everything. And there's a lot of games we all play. Tire compounds can make or break your night. And if you choose the wrong tire, I feel like I made that choice on Saturday night or Friday night. I guess Saturday. It's all running together from last weekend, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But you make the wrong tire choice, like I did, it will hurt your performance. And you have to read the racetrack and know what you're doing. And the only way to really learn is to fail. And how your tires are grooved and siped, and how you get heat in and out, and it affects your traction. And, the tire is what's on the ground, and that's what's getting your horsepower down. And you have to have that tire in contact with the racetrack at optimum temperature, at optimum everything. And, these old Billy Moyer has not won 850-some races because he doesn't know what's up, and he's obviously a really good race car driver, but they know tires, and you really got to know your tires and what you're doing on that. And there's just so much that goes in the technical side of these cars. It's just incredible.
What is the geographic footprint of the Comp Cam series? Where do you go? What's kind of the radius involved there?
So it's moved north. So we ran MLRA for years. And what happened to us, and this show's probably going to run a little long today because of getting a season set up, but what happened to us, when I started racing dirt in 2020, we decided to commit to MLRA, and that was based out of Wheatland. And normally a series, you drop a pin, and it's a 6-hour radius from where your home base is. MLRA was a little bit unique, as they went and did a lot in Iowa, but you would race Lake Ozark, I-70, Granite City, Illinois, and then Wheatland a lot. When MLRA went away, it put us all into a frenzy. So our options were hit and miss. There's a new series called Revival that I really liked. Good series. But we decided we were either going to Mars or Comp Cams. For my family, Comp Cams works out better. I lost a bet because comp races, Springfield, Wheatland, Tulsa, Oklahoma this weekend, Humboldt, Kansas, Caney, Kansas, pretty close places. But we go last weekend with Shreveport, Louisiana, and then we go to Columbus, Mississippi. Basically, that pin is out of Conway, Arkansas, Greenbrier, where GRT was formed. That's where comp is, which is not very far from where the old Mars pin drop used to be. And now Mars is Illinois, and it's based out of Fairbury, Illinois. So the closest Mars gets to us is Granite City, Illinois, or Peevely, probably one of those two. And with my son's baseball schedule and the way the schedule worked out, it just looked to me like comp made the most sense. I want to race at Wheatland and Springfield. Those are home. Especially when they're 45 minutes away, so those are home. So you got to take the good with the bad. So somehow, so Tony Jackson and I looked, and we always try to travel together because we're in the same town, we're best friends. It makes sense. He's going to go the Mars route, and I'm going to go the comp route, and it's going to be some growing pains. I felt like if he'd have been with me in Boot Hill, we'd have made a better tire choice. But that's okay. You got to learn. And, the difference in the series, being able to race at home when we can is great. We race this weekend. We go to Tulsa Friday. Perfect. It's close. 3 hours. And when you say you race dirt late models, the number one thing is you better be a professional truck driver. And 3 hours is close. And then we come home and race Springfield. So those are close. And then we are off for a weekend. And then we go to Hunt, Texas, which I think is around Dallas. I really haven't even looked it up. And then we hit Texarkana on the way home. So those are a trip, And so that's the deal with comp. We're either really close or we're 8 hours. So we go there. And then we go to Arrowhead Speedway. We go to Wheatland, the 11th and 12th. Unsanctioned that weekend. Big deal. Going to be a cool event. And then we go to Arrowhead Speedway, which is really, really close. It's on the Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas line. 2.5 hours from here. Beautiful racetrack. If you haven't been there yet, check it out. That's coming up April 18th and 19th. Big race weekend for us then. And that one's a couple hours, so it's really close. We go there like 3 times. So those races that we race close to home, that was the decision maker. Labor Day weekend, we raced Wheatland and Springfield. Like, being at home made the difference on those because those are just weekends with my family. It works out. So that was kind of the decision for us, and it fell into our lap. The leadership changes at Comp with Ernie Letwich coming on board, and Ernie ran basically everybody that ran MLRA is now at Comp, and I feel like Ernie's the best series director in the United States, and Jack and Chris are great, and they've built up an awesome series with the Comp Cam series, and Ernie to take it, and that's all Ernie's going to do is focus on that series, and like he did at MLRA, and man, it's going to be a killer series. It's going to have some, it's different because, like I said, those guys that I was talking to, Stuckey and all those guys down there, they're from Shreveport. And I'm like, man, they're like, man, you're a long way from home. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be saying the same thing to you next weekend, and it's like, it's tough because a lot of the tracks in Arkansas have disappeared. And so now I think it's moved a little bit north. And, wherever they decide to drop that pin, each year, which, like I said, Conway, Arkansas has kind of been the pin for Comp Cams, Greenbrier, Conway area. That will determine the cars you get. And but if you think you're going to race a regional late model series and not travel, that's why we have haulers. That's why we have motor coaches, and that's what they're there for. They're not there to sit at home. They're there to get in the road and drive and race. So that's what we do.
You're going to some new venues now. How long do you think it's going to take for you to become familiar with these various racetracks?
So you get 2 laps and hot laps. So you go hot lap for 2 laps. Track's usually greasy, so you don't learn anything.
You're not going to have the knowledge on the first night, are you?
Yes and no. And so I've looked at that. I look at Springfield, for instance. Springfield's kind of my home track now. And I've raced there more than I have any other place. And I feel like when you go to a racetrack, you don't have bad habits. You don't know what you don't know. We go to Tulsa Friday night, never seen the place. So we'll guess on gear. I have a pretty good idea what to do. You watch your YouTube videos. That's what's great. You watch film and you go at it and see what happens. I had been to Boot Hill before once. So that was nice. Obviously I've been to Springfield and some of these others, but it is very tough. And that's the difference between dirt and asphalt. Dirt, you get 2 laps of practice, literally. You go out, you take a green, white, checker, pull in. And it's wide open, usually slimy, because it has to be. And then you go back, change your tires or buff your tires, get the mud off your car, and go time in. And that's your most important lap of the night. And that determines, it's so hard to pass in heat races right now. But that determines your whole night. So it's a different world that I've jumped into. But, that was what was tough at 2020. It was COVID. That was my first year. Every racetrack I went to was new. None of them I'd been to before, and it was the same deal. So anytime there's an open test, that helps. Going the first time go around to these places is going to be tough. Hopefully you live and learn and lean on your buddies to help you that have been there before and figure it out. But sometimes it's better to go to your track because you don't have a bad habit. You don't know. You don't have the habit of, man, I was really good here on the bottom. And you just see that there's a big cushion up there. You can go pound the cushion for 3 laps. Like, that's all you know to do. You don't know that your tire might not work or, you know what I mean? It's just, sometimes ignorance is bliss, I think.
What's been the spectator response to early season racing at these places?
Votto was cold, and Votto was built off TV. No doubt about that. They had a good crowd, I think, for the one night. Springfield was packed like normal for the MLRA tribute weekend. The crowd at Boot Hill was phenomenal. I want to thank those guys. They had a crawfish boil on Thursday night, and what they did was great. There's a 100% chance of rain on Saturday. It's supposed to be a 5,000 and 10,000. 5,000 win Friday, 10,000 win Saturday. They knew it was going to rain out Saturday. They paid 10,000 to win. They put Saturday night's purse on Friday nights. The racetrack took a gamble. They only got one night's pit passes. They stepped up for the racers. The fans, I've sent everybody pictures back home, like standing room only, packed. Really hard to get out of there after we got done racing to try to get home because, and we probably drivers need to think about that. That's what, when we go to Burlington, Iowa, and they'd always have a big crowd. That was always cool on Friday night because everybody'd come to the pits like they used to at I-44. And, it's a rush to get on the road to get home or to the next race. And so it's, hopefully they start bringing the kids down before, and do that, or we got to do better as racers. But it's incredible to see the amount of fans that are there. And I think this weekend, I hope there's a big crowd at Tulsa. But Springfield always will, Saturday night at Springfield, it's a big race. So, this will be out before then. So, hope to see everybody there for the March Madness at Springfield. Springfield Raceway is an incredible racetrack for what Jerry's built. He's not allowed to have a permanent structure. So, he's built all this up around it with what he's able to do on the county. And but it's the best racing surface to race on anywhere, and it'll be a great race Saturday night, and it's home, so we're racing at home, for us. So it'll be fun, and hopefully we have a good routing there, and I'm looking forward to that one about as much as anything.
He's had a tribute also to Kenny Essery and Randy Mooneyham there also.
That was the first. That was the MLRA weekend, and that was awesome. That weekend was so much fun, and MLRA kind of got founded because I-44 and Bolivar went pavement, and so it's kind of full circle for me to do that. It sucks.
Used to have a racing show with Randy Mooneyham back in the day, and certainly enjoyed watching Ken Essery race at I-44, the Flying Farmer.
He was good.
Yep.
He was awesome and won a lot of races. And, you've been around it. You've seen it. You went to the fairgrounds. You went to I-44 dirt, and it's amazing how much dirt cars have changed and how the whole world has changed, But take the crowds you saw at I-44 in the 80s, and those are the crowds you're seeing most places we go on the road, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. And we get those crowds locally, but there's so much racing around here. It's just the people don't realize what they're getting to see. I mean, we go to Louisiana, that's they get to see super late models like that 4 times a year, so they're not missing it. And they didn't on Friday night. That place was packed.
All right, NASCAR goes to Vegas this weekend. Can somebody beat Christopher Bell?
Man, I don't know. They're really good on mile and a halves. So, I've been so critical of NASCAR because it's been terrible the last few years. And I feel like last week's race was the best NASCAR race they've had in years. They've listened to the drivers on the tires. And you're not going to, I don't think anybody, if you have to go bet money, you got to take him to the pay window. That's who you're picking for sure, 100%. So that'd be interesting. It's going to be interesting this weekend, too. Your national tours on the dirt side. World of Outlaws is in Smoky Mountain. Comp, we're at Tulsa and Springfield. So we went way down south. So now the south guys got to come up. So you're going to find out if the guys from Mississippi are actually going to run full comp. And you're going to see who's the actual full comp guys. It sounds like Billy Moyer maybe running the full deal. Kind of cool. We all grew up watching Billy. And how many times did you see that guy race at I-44?
Fantastic.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting this weekend. This weekend's a tell-all for everything. It's a tell-all for NASCAR. Whoever wins at Vegas is going to have the best car for the year because that's the first mile and a half track that's actually a legit mile and a half. So you're going to see who's, if Christopher Bell wins like 4 in a row, it's going to be a long year for everybody.
Enjoy the visit. Appreciate it. Good
Been
luck
awesome
this
seeing
weekend.
you. Yeah, I hope to see everybody at Tulsa's not that far, make it a weekend trip, but hope to see everybody, honestly, at Springfield. It's going to be a great event. If you can't make it, we'll send you there's a streaming service for comp cams. I'll put it on the site, but appreciate you doing this with us, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Very good. Brennan Willard, I'm Kevin Stubblefield. Thanks for joining us. Our show brought to you by Schaefer's Oil.
See you next week.